Before the game, Doc had kind of mentioned like this is a team that no matter who's in their lineup, whoever's inactive, active, they are going to defend, and they're going to make you tough on you. Just kind of what you see from, I guess maybe the Magic's fight tonight.
I mean, I one of the coaches on their staff, was I played for him for I think 8 or 9 years, my first 8, 9 years. So a lot of the people that I've crossed paths with in my career, I tend to watch their teams a little bit closer. So I've watched Orlando play a lot of times. So just seeing Paolo go out and seeing how they played from there, and then you see Franz go out and they go out there and beat the Suns. So I think when they got all their guys, they're still a tough team, but I think their identity has nothing to do with how skilled or talented they are. They're tough. They play hard. They play physical. They crash the offensive glass. They do things together, and they're well coached. So we knew coming in that this was going to be a tough game regardless of who was out there because of that. And I think you just got to give them their respect, and just know that that's who they are, and that's why they give themselves a good chance and why their record is what it is. And we had to pull this one out.
Their bigs all move pretty well. I guess can you just take me through getting off that last step back and just kind of how you got to that space?
I think the last one I knew he was down 3. A couple possessions before that I had gone the other direction, and I was about to get to a step back from 2. And I could tell he was kind of like getting his body ready to try to get back close to me to contest it. So on the other one, I went hard left and I stepped back to see what he would do. And I think he got ready to contest it. And then I stepped back again to get behind the line. But I was just reading his body, and his position and also trying to tie the game. But I wanted to make sure I was able to create some space.
And then after they take the lead, you get downhill right away. Just kind of what maybe opened up for you that I mean, it was pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, I came down, and tonight when I was getting across half court, that's when they were trying to get their pressure, while we were trying to get into our set, knowing that I was waiting for us to get into our spots. And, I was just wanting to run spread in the middle of the court with me and Giannis down the stretch and, just play in space. And as I was coming, I saw that they were communicating, people were crossing and nobody was set to help. And I just took off. And when I took off, I got around the first defender, and then it was, I think Bitazde was at the rim, but Bobby was moving to the three-point line, and I think he wanted to get out there and, not give up a 3 on a strong side corner. So he just kind of kept going, and I just went straight to the rim.
You're talking about their, toughness, physicality. I'm curious for you as a player, like, is it annoying to play against that, or do you kind of enjoy that challenge?
For me as a competitor, I enjoy like the competition part of it. I think it forces you to have to just be a little bit sharper. It forces you to have to be more engaged. Any little bit of slippage or lack of embracing that, what they bring, is going to end up hurting your team. And a couple times tonight I was attacking and I thought a play was going to be there and I didn't, I might have not passed the ball on time or sharp enough and the ball get tipped, just because of their activity and physicality. So the moments where, we had lapses, I think their energy and physicality and, what their identity is, it ended up working in their favor, at certain points of the game.
Hey, Dame, just given how you guys didn't have the start to the season that you wanted, what does it say about you guys that you were able to make it to Vegas again, and how do you feel that you guys can use this as momentum as the season continues?
I just think it's more than making it to Vegas. I think us being able to pull ourselves out of a hole. Being in the NBA, I know that you can't do that with one person or 2 people or 3 people or 4 people. It takes the right type of energy to be spread throughout a group. How we come into the practice facility, how the energy is in the locker room, how we engage with our coaches, in practice, and how we able to just stay connected, even when things aren't going well. And, maybe the coaches might be frustrated with us not doing things good enough. We might be frustrated with ourselves. and we just stayed connected. You know, we kept fighting, and that's a hard thing to do when you're struggling and you expect it to be winning and people talking about your team. It takes a connected group to be able to bounce back and come out of that and, you know, get to where we've gotten to. We just have to understand that and also not reach where we've reached now and think that our work is done. You know, we got ourselves back to where we want to be in a good position, and we got to continue to build on that.
Dame, Chris Middleton didn't have any points today, but I'm just curious, like, how he impacts the team in ways that may not show up on the stat sheet.
I would just say just presence. Chris just knows, you know, he understands the game, he understands matchups, he understands what's supposed to be happening. You know, he's always tracking what's happening in the game, you know, so you'll see him on the sideline and he'll be like, they keep doing this, so this is what we need to do, you know, or I'm going to do this for a couple possessions when we run this play, and then after a couple times I'm going to, you know, do something like he'll tell me what he's going to do, and I see him communicating that way throughout the group. And I think for me as a point guard and somebody who's always looking around and, you know, looking what the coach is saying to the other team and just trying to find any advantage, having another guy out there like that who plays off of, you know, his mind. You know, he's constantly thinking, constantly seeing what's going on and, you know, just trying to find the edge. And you can feel that out there, and I'm sure everybody on our team can feel that because it's not a numbers thing. It's one of those things where you're able to have dialogue, just, you know, these conversations and direct guys and direct things on the court that just leads to good things, you know, that impacts the game, but it's not always a numbers thing. And I think he still had 8 assists. Chris had 8 assists? Yeah, like, so, I mean, it did show up in the stats. 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 steals. I mean, I felt it. You know, you could feel him on the floor.
As of late, Bobby's been incredibly hot from the field, hitting everything. Just kind of how much does he mean to you when he's going like that? And maybe what have you seen from him recently that he's been able to break out of kind of that struggle to start the season?
Yeah, I think it's I mean, if Bobby is anything, he's a believer in himself. And I think it's that belief in him runs so deep that he makes everybody else believe the same, you know. So even when he wasn't making shots or he might not have been playing how he wanted to play, he didn't shy away from trying to be himself. You know, he tried to continue to push and push and push and be himself. And that's what you want to see. You know, you don't want to see somebody get discouraged and shy away from, you know, maybe a little bit of struggle. And I think embracing it and continuing to push through it is how you eventually get over the hump. And I think that's all it is with him. You know, I haven't seen him change anything, you know, even when he has struggled. And, you know, everything comes to pass. You know, eventually you're going to break through. And I think you always want to make sure that you behave in a way that's respectable even when it's not going your way, because it's going to turn, and you want people to know, you know, I didn't fold or act funny or pout or all of this stuff when it didn't go well. So obviously our team is different, and, you know, we need it from them, but it's, you know, it's always great to see when Bobby is doing this thing. You know, it's infectious and it changes our team.